I got moisture in my phone's port, so hopefully this works without having me connected because it will not shut up about there being moisture, which is fair. If it helps, it helps. And I took my phone case off for the first time in forever. Not looking great. All I can go whatsoever. Had me thinking about, well, not right now, but potentially in live stream, I just started it. Cancel. Potentially thinking about new phones. Particularly, I think maybe iPhone, even though I'm an Android guy. And the main reason is social media hates Android phones. Truthfully. It's insanity. Ooh. Cancel out of that. You can't exit that DJI menu unless you do some nonsense. Such as having a button you can press to take you to home screen. You can't do it the normal way. There's no random other buttons to press. Gotta find my live stream. There we are.
Quality protein. The problem with that is people think that they're doing.
You see this?
Health and body are kind of
Nutrition solutions, brother. How you gonna market to me? How you gonna market to me when I'm trying to get sponsored by you? That's just messed up. Dang, they're shameless. Anyway, the purpose of today's cooking stream is to make some goulash. Mainly it's to meal prep. I ran out, and well, it takes a long time, but the main thing is getting it going now so it can be ready later. So here we have our ingredients. Not that stuff, that's just my counters. They're pretty clean. Kettle and fire bone broth. This is 16.9 ounces. Hunt's tomato sauce. It's lower on sugar than the other options that I saw. Oh, basil, garlic, and oregano. Should be fine. 8 ounces. I've been experimenting with that recently to add a bit more moisture. San Marzano peeled tomatoes. I like those a lot. And 3 pounds of ground beef. Seasoning, I'm gonna add some salt. I'm gonna add some, where's it at? Some of this, probably backwards, but this is Spice Classics ground red pepper. I bought them in bulk. I have like 5 of these containers in my house. I like it. It's not too spicy, but it adds a little bit. To get started, the pan's already pretty ripping hot. It's at 4 for temperature. I love goulash. Well, you might be disappointed because I don't know what I'm doing. Last time I had someone get really mad because I called it goulash and not American goulash. They were basically American shaming me. It was pretty messed up, if I'm being honest. But we persevere. It's all good. It's all gravy. The main thing I recommend is searing your ground beef. That can be done by simply getting a pan hot-ish. Mine's at like just below medium heat. And I like to make sure I press down the meat a little bit. That way it can cook more evenly. Because I'm cooking in these cubes. It's pretty thick. It's a whole pound of ground beef. That's thick. It's annoying to cook that through fully and not have one side get burnt. So I take some parchment paper. Well, I take 2 pieces. About good enough. Nothing too crazy. 1 piece. You son of a biscuit. On the countertop. Use the ground beef to hold it for now. And then 1 more piece. That way we can press down the beef. I don't have a big enough pan to cook 3 pounds by itself. I gotta cook in waves, unfortunately. 2 waves to be exact. So I'll split the ground beef into 1.5 pounds-ish, which isn't too complicated. And we'll go on from there. My counters are clean enough, it's fine. It helps to have a thing to press with. If you don't have a thing like this, use a pan. Just make sure the pan's made with decent quality, otherwise you might warp it. But find something that's sturdy to press down and you'll be fine. I got this though. It came with my cast iron that I don't ever use. Army Chatter's gatekeeping goulash is crazy. I saw Army Chat today, and honestly, I legit never look in those Discords. But recently, I'll type in Odo to see if they're talking about me because it's kind of funny. Like, I've been doing it daily recently. Just a brief little, what are they saying today? Because they talk about me a lot. It's kind of worrisome. But I had the chat pulled up somehow because I looked up my name from previous, and they're just saying some nonsense, talking about Eruptor shouldn't have heavier armor pen. It's It's supposed to be an explosive weapon. Those mother effers like to just nerf stuff. They just want to nerf random things. Like that's their whole shtick, is how to make the game harder. Meanwhile, the missions are the easy part. Those folks drive me mad. And I'm worried because we're gonna have a whole bunch of Xbox players, and then what? Those folks might get indoctrinated into a whole bunch of nonsense. We gotta warn them. My dishes are clean, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab stuff from it like a damp, most likely. All right, so I don't have a better way to do this. I basically just cut around the packaging of the ground beef and make a little escape route essentially for the meat. You can kind of see it. I'll get better at the camera angles eventually. I'll figure something out. These knives aren't sharp, and I know a dull knife is the most dangerous thing in the kitchen. Don't worry. I'll just cut away from myself. That way I'll never get hurt. These have been dull for years. I'll be fine until I'm not. So we take the ground beef, and then it's pretty straightforward stuff. Now that kind of force is obviously necessary. Without it, the goulash won't turn out properly. I usually check for any remnants of beef because I'm trying to get my money's worth. The stuff was not cheap. I like the way that grass-fed, ground finished. Wait, what? What does it say? It says grass-fed and finished. Oh, it's not grass-fed, ground finished. That makes no sense. But I like the way it tastes. It does come at a cost, which is my bank account depleting at a rapid pace. I feel like there's a way to peel off the packaging, but I've tried it, I promise you. And every time, there's no way. Now, I don't have to remove the whole thing. I just kind of like to. Like I said, any ground beef remnants that look kind of chunky enough, I'm keeping them. They ain't going away. Now this part, pretty complex stuff. We need 1.5 pounds because my pans aren't big enough. What sucks is I don't have the pans I like to cook on in the size I need. I keep forgetting to ask for more pans. I'm not gonna pay for them. I'm out here slinging pans, bro. I'm trying to get them for free, if I can. But I just take my little metal spatula and I roughly chop the meat in half. Then we plop that right, hello? We plop that right, this actually came at a weird angle. Right there. Yeah. You put it together the best you can. From this moment, you cover it up. Move that knife in the beef. And you just press down. I wouldn't press super hard. I'm not trying to make smash burgers or anything like that. Like you want to have some denseness to the beef, but I want it to be a bit thinner. That way I can cook it more evenly. Otherwise, it doesn't turn out as good. Plus my stove is weird. I say it all the time. Don't like it. What's it called? A frigid air induction stove? Yeah, the one I got, don't get it. It was like, I think it was actually like 900 bucks, but I got it for a discount. That's probably why I was on discount. Man. Oh well. All right. A little bit thinner. All right, I think that that's good enough for me. Remove this. Make sure the piece that was touching the meat does not touch your countertop. That will just be unwise. We'll place that to the side. Then we gotta chop this into sections to put on the stove. I kinda want y'all to be more angled down. One second. Got him. Got him, coach. Non-spicy chili mac, kinda. Ooh, I've been experimenting with putting noodles in the crock pot. So if you don't wanna have to cook anything, like right now I'm gonna go ahead and sear the beef, you can skip that process and just use chicken, and chicken turns out fantastic regardless. Ground beef in the crock pot by itself without any proper searing first or cooking through Doesn't taste as good to me. But chicken was pretty sick. And I tried putting noodles in it recently. I didn't have enough liquid, but it would have turned out really good if I had enough of that liquid. But I didn't. All right, this is a better view, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and just transfer probably a third at a time. Yeah, we'll do a third, roughly. Boom. Line it at the edge. See, you hear that? I think that sound is necesito. I'll get you a close-up. If it ain't searing like that, you're making a mistake. And you don't want it to freaking smoke the house down, so don't have your pan too hot. But you want there to be some instant contact with heat, because that's gonna help it stick to the pan a little bit. And in this case, I don't put any oil down because I'm gonna simply scrape it off the bottom of the pan, which won't be too hard, I don't believe so. But that helps it get a better pan to meat connection. It's like mind muscle connection for lifting, but different. This is pan to meat connection. Important stuff. The beef has got to feel it. And then we'll go ahead and scooch this one in here. Make sure it fits. Go to your home, brother, go to your home. All right, that's gonna cook for a little bit. Now, I hate this stove. I gotta say it again. What's gonna happen is it won't cook properly on the bottom part of the pan, even though it's perfectly in the center of the heater. So what I have to do is flip the pan like a dent. And it could be the pan itself. This is not my, not the Heritage Steel pans using code ODO, obviously. This is a different one. And I like it a little bit, but I need more Heritage. I need like a 12.5 inch Heritage Steel pan or even bigger. Realistically, I need to get some form of like a giant countertop that is just purely a heater of some kind. That's what I need. You know that HEB package from anywhere? Heck yeah, brother. HEB's the GOAT, my GOAT. I do need to shop at Costco though more often. Right now the current rate is 0. I flipped it, right? I think I did. While that's waiting, I want to go ahead and get the next round of beef laid out and flattened. That way I can just easily transfer it. And right now the crock pot is on, which is actually kind of dumb on my part. I might just move it real quick. All right, I'll clean the house eventually, but right now it's very scuffed. Move the crock pot here for better viewing purposes. It's currently, yeah, I'll figure my life out eventually, trust me. If you wait long enough, it just all goes into place. This is how it works. I've heard many times. Is this burger democratic? This burger, it's not a burger. It's close though. This ground beef is certifiably democratic. I asked my democracy, and they gave me the rating. Like in your Peasant America, they give you like a USDA rating. We get that Democracy First Food Regulation. Democracy First Food Regulation. That DFFR certification. Yes. Do that. Cut open the package. Lift what? Quick question. Are you going to cause a comically large explosion and wipe this kitchen from the face of the earth? No. I hope not. It's not in the budget right now. Just checked, and apparently my accountant told me that comically large kitchen explosions would be an unwise move from a financial standpoint. Though me personally, I think I'm going to go ahead and hold off on that for now, but don't worry, it's in the works. It's in the works. We'll write that down as a fantastic idea for later. Once those funyuns start rolling in. All right, move that. I'm making too many trips to the trash can. I could have put that package right here. Foolish. Foolish. But where's the paprika? Oh yeah, it's oregano. I don't own any paprika, I don't think. I might splurge and get some spices. I'm pretty okay with eating just salt. Like I know that folks maybe get clowned for that kind of stuff, but a lot of times food tastes good enough on its own. If you sear ground beef on the stove, it has a char that tastes salty and it's pretty good. Now, if you don't sear it, I could still eat it and wouldn't complain if there's no seasoning. But I do add salt, which isn't like the most bougie of seasonings. It's actually pretty low tier in most people's eyes. It's more of a enhancer. All right, any beef chunks left over? Need those. Get all my money's worth. Stuff's expensive. I think for each pound, it's close to $7 dang. Maybe like $6.50. Clean as you go. Now, if I was smart, I'd find a way to simply turn the camera while maneuvering. All right, that beef, got the black lung, Paul. That beef does need a flipping here soon. Where's the paprika? We ain't got none of that for now. Back to this. Boom. Remove the spatula. Place this right here. I don't want to touch my countertops with raw ground beef if I can help it. I don't know the science on it, but I would imagine the parchment paper, you can't, like water does not seep through parchment paper, right? I'm curious how necessary it is to clean my countertops after doing this, putting ground beef on top of it. A little bit more. All right, sick. Now, if you ever do make smash burgers, you could use a panini press or a tortilla press to do the same thing, but faster. Although I think it's good to get one that doesn't have an angle to it, like it just goes straight down. Because I have one that angles, and that is a problem because one side will be a little bit bigger than the other, which is kind of annoying. Salt, pepper, paprika, garlic powder, and mince. Good taco meat. I like smoked paprika more for taco meat. For burger, all you need is salt and pepper. I feel that. Yeah, for tacos or for taco meat, I do believe you need to have more robust seasoning protocols. But I'd rarely ever do that because it's complex. I just buy a taco seasoning kit and call it a day. I think it's flippable time or flipping time. You can kind of see it, but now you can see it. I'm scared to get too close to this camera. I have to go ahead and angle, that way I can scrape it off the pan. Go ahead and section this so I can flip it better. You like that? Look at that, look at the char. Can you even see it? How do you recenter? Here. You like that? Look at the coloring. I don't know what you saw, but I hope it was the picture I was trying to paint there. Oh, it moved. Go this way. Man, I'll fix it in a second. Oh. And anything that sticks to the pan, I'm not too worried because I'm gonna go ahead and throw in some of this kettle on fire bone broth. See, the sides of the pan don't cook properly. That is tilting. This one should be good though. If I had a better angle to actually go in underneath, it'd be life-changing for this. Because look how tall the rim is of the pan. It makes it difficult to actually dig in and scrape it off the bottom. And the reason why I want it to stick is that way it gets a better char. Like, as seen as such, as seen as such. Give you one more pass by, one more pass by real quick. That's what we're looking for, folks. That's called that Maillard reaction. It's good stuff. Now, I gotta increase the heat. I'm telling you, it's a whole process. I think it's scientific with this gosh darn stove. I use this random pan as a holder for my spatulas. Nice. And now we wait. I should have increased the heat earlier. I didn't think about it. Dough versus dough, round one fight. Dough versus dough. Right now I'm on a constant quest of trying to 1v1 this bread brother. Bro has more supplements in a pharmacy? I don't though, it's not that many. I got, well now, since we're waiting anyway. Damn. I can't get over, so you see this microwave? The placement's right over my stove. If you can help it, I wouldn't do that. Because I just have all this steam going directly underneath the microwave. And it gets gross under there. Like, I ain't got no kind of bread to build a house right now, but that's one thing I'm keeping in the back of my mind. I want to put my stove in like the middle of an island versus in the edge right here, because then, well, for my purposes, I could do better content and whatnot. And it'd just be nicer to maneuver from there and have all the stuff you want on the counters over here. Like I could have this be as dirty as I want and just have enough space to maneuver. Maybe I shouldn't think like about having it dirty, but I think my point stands. As a 1/16 Hungarian, I'll let you slide this time. Oh. As a 100% Hungarian, I don't. It's American goulash. Can someone Google that and tell me what it says? I think last time I checked, it was just like ground beef in a stew of some kind. I will be stewing it, so I feel like I'm doing my part. While this is cooking, I could be, we could be smart and throw in the tomatoes and the sauce in the crock pot, because the ground beef goes in soon, and you kind of want that. You want the ground beef to be sort of, holy smokes, it falls that well. Well, I'm moving y'all over here. Sorry, folks. Sorry, kids who are relocating. I'm just taking a selfie with everything to try and maneuver y'all so you can see better. I don't know a better way. All right, we're gonna be quick here. So we need the sauce, peeled tomatoes, and I don't know if it's wise to use metal in crock pots, so I'm using I'm using Forever Plastics. Highly recommend it. Can opener. I've seen folks that don't know how to open cans with a can opener. It's kind of hilarious. They do it like this. I don't know what y'all be doing, but take your can, you take your can opener, and you turn it to get it started. One-handed, kind of difficult. But once it's going, it should stick like this, and then you gotta hold the handle. I got you. Oh shit, the can has to turn itself. You have to put it on the counter, you have to. I'm learning, I never tried doing it the other way. But you want the can to spin, or the can opener, the can to spin, while the can opener stays in place. I'm only saying this because I've legit seen folks that don't know how to use it, and they make like a freaking prison shank out of their cans. They're living a dangerous life. Once you're done, you have little pincers to grab it. This is not an ad for this contraption, I promise. And boom, you're chilling. Once it's cleaned, rinse it off. You don't want to have tomatoes get dried. It's way easier to clean that way. Can you see? Now this pan, the crock pot's a little warm because I had it heating up and I realized I don't want to do that. But dump those out. Using one of these, what you call it, you can scrape the innards and get more of what you paid for. I'm not gonna be too meticulous. I'm not trying to squeeze out every freaking quarter cent here. That's good enough. When you're done, rinse it. Makes it way easier to do it as you go. In fact, I'm kind of pissed at myself. I left my crock pot like with water in it after I made the last meal for a while, like 4 days or whatever, and I had to clean it before starting the stream, which is unwise. You're better off just doing it the same day you mess it up, or at least the next day. I waited like 3 days. Same process with the sauce. I might be burning that ground beef, if I'm being honest with you. But y'all can corroborate my story that I am over here doing big things. I don't have a small spatula to get in here, I don't believe, so we shake and pray. It's pretty good. Rinsing out the cans. Oh my goodness. All right, those can go to the recycling later. Pretty sure that they don't mind that. Oh, actually important stuff. Make sure, the reason why I did this in the first place, I want to chop up the peeled tomatoes because they're pretty large. I don't really want to have massive, like quarter-sized tomato chunks in my goulash. Now these would technically break down as you cook it. I just like doing this. It makes me feel like it's a wise choice to be made. All right, back to the task at hand, brother. This is probably done. So I'm gonna go ahead and just chop it in smaller sections. That's all, folks. So cut it long ways, and then we chop it sideways. It's cooked all the way through, clean. I don't mind having a bit of a more well done texture. I tend to cook this more than I would a regular ground beef patty. I might experiment with doing that a bit less next time. Because the beef will still cook in the crock pot. It's just I want to have it have this texture, like this shape going into it, because it helps it maintain it. I've only done the ground beef in the crock pot without doing this first a couple times, and I just never liked it that much. All right, this is good enough. You can't see. Crock pot angle. Boom. Take the pan and just dump it in. And then I gotta do it once more. If I had a big enough pan and a better stove, I could do it all in one go. But I don't. And the annoying part is I'm going to do something called deglazing the pan. Now, if you're familiar with glaze diving and Helldivers, this has no correlation whatsoever, because this is good. Glaze diving is bad. Turn on the stove, go to 5. I'm gonna let it get warm again. Then I'm gonna pour this into it, like about half or so. Help it get all the cooked on bits off. And then let the pan reheat once again. If I had a bigger pan and a better stove, I could do this in one go and be good. But I don't, so guess what? I gotta do what I gotta do. Been listening to your videos all day while working, and of course, 30 minutes into your live stream, my earbuds are about to die. Tragedy. Thank you. Hey, well, first of all, thank you for doing that. Glad they're entertaining enough. Much appreciated. H channel, thanks for the 5 memberships, brother. Thank you very much. Are you adding macaroni? I could, but I don't know. I think I tend to do rice. So I have a fancy rice cooker. It is, I can grab it actually. I have one of those Zoji Rushi rice cookers. These things. Like they're the idiot proof. Just go ahead and put rice in the cup they give you, measure it, then put water that equates to how many cups you put in, call it a day. Of course, after rinsing it. All right, this is getting kind of warm. Sometimes I forget how fast the stove can heat things up. It's like the one thing about it I kind of like. So this deglazing, I should have probably cleaned my stove because it had, I don't know what it's called exactly, but the stainless steel will get like a discoloration that you can clean off and take it essentially back to what it was before, which is the metal. I didn't do that. So it may look like there's more on the pan than there actually is, especially to y'all. That's my bad. Messed up the presentation. But deglazed it, which I'll do the same thing later once I'm done cooking and just use water. Like stainless steel is just so easy to cook, or so easy to clean on. Just add this to the crock pot. And then I'm gonna go ahead and reheat the pan once more. It's a process, but I do it for the love of goulash. American goulash. I have a paper towel lying around. I try and not waste a whole paper towel for small things, so I'll usually just have like one slice laying about. We'll keep this right here. Keep tabs on it. All right. We'll do 5. It's still warm, so it shouldn't take too long to heat up. I hate having to finesse the heat from 4 to 5 constantly. Wish I could just pick one and call it a day. WH channel, true and real. What up, Doe? What up, Ink? So real in the paper towel anecdote. It's those small things that help out a ton. All right, I'm over here mixing up the beef. The small amount currently. Oh, I forgot. There's one more ingredient I like to add. I don't believe I bought the right beans though. Recently I've been adding beans. I'm not sure what kind of brand y'all get of beans. I'm just doing with bushes. I'm not really a bean aficionado yet. I've just entered the bean world. But these are kidney beans. They're pretty good. I don't put them in instantly though. If you do that, it turns the whole concoction very beany to the point where it's not wise. So I put these in about probably 3 hours before I'm done cooking it, maybe 2 hours. And that's a better flow. The same thing kind of applies to adding vegetables for the most part. Carrots are probably fine to add right now, but I wouldn't add bell peppers at this very moment. It's not wise. And honestly, bell peppers and things that have skin, they get kind of weird sometimes. Like if you don't get the right kind, like they're ripe and whatnot, the skin turns into like this unchewable plastic sort of feel. So I've kind of veered off from using bell peppers. I used to do it all the time. I might venture into carrots again though. That seems pretty fun. Matter of fact, dang it. Now the more things you add to the crock pot, you need to make sure you have enough liquid to balance it out. That's why I started using the 8 ounce of the tomato sauce, because I'm doing beans. And I drain these beans and rinse them thoroughly. I think that's a good move. Again, I just got into the bean world. All right, this is getting to the point. Turn it back down to 4. Go ahead and slap some meat on this thing. Maybe it'd be wise to do this. Boom. 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 All right. So section-wise, because the conjoined piece from the 0.5 pounds is here, I'm gonna go ahead and just cut that off. It'd be dumb to cut it this way. I've done it before. It feels not wise. This time I'm gonna pat it down, that way it gets a better connection, hopefully. I gotta do what I can to make this stove not decimate my dreams and aspirations. I'll do the big piece first. And the last piece, I'm gonna do this maneuver, make it a smidge smaller. No. Go to your home. Do that, and then cut this one long ways once more. I think I flattened this more than the last one. That's why it's not fitting as well. Also, I missed some space over here. These side pieces are not gonna cook properly, just by the way. Rotate the pan to maximize heating consistency. God, I love this stove. And try and scrape off any last remaining meat bits. All right, we're good. I'm debating if I should wipe my countertops with a Clorox wipe or not. No point in cleaning this quite yet. We're not done with it. I was about to, but I decided against it heavily. I don't know why I'm doing that. I mean, actually, this is better than watching the ground beef just cook. Log on. Thank you very much. Boom. The time video was nice, by the way. Thank you. I'm glad it's doing well. There's nothing worse than investing time into those kinds of videos and they just like kind of flop. So, thanks for watching it. You're contributing to the cause. I'm not gonna do that for every weapon, by the way. I'm just gonna do that for weapons that I feel compelled to. Like Talon's one of them, Diligence, I already made one. Diligence I might do again, even though I have talked about it in the past. That was more of like a weapon customization, which it'd be wise to include that in the main video too, I guess. Cover the pan, retain some moisture, cooks top through steam, lower heat a bit. If I cook the top through steam, then it won't get the Maillard reaction I'm looking for. The reason why I'm doing this is it helps to brown the meat. The browning of the meat gives it more flavor than you would otherwise have. Steaming it is, I don't think it's a play here. I guess the whole point of this in the first place, I'm trying to give it a texture that will help it maintain a flavor. Well, I'm trying to give it a texture and flavor that will maintain throughout the cooking in the crock pot, which is over here right now. Got lost. All right. I think it makes more sense to have the camera be stationary so I can pace around like a dent. Y'all moving with me might create some motion sickness potentially. Courage the Cowardly Dog is one of the best cartoons I saw as a kid. I'm trying to have an artist that is working on like a combination of my character, the little doughboy guy, little white feller. I guess it's more like a tan feller. The little doughboy. And Courage like combination, because I don't know how well a legally distinct Courage will go. I'm also afraid to even attempt that. But I want to make some Courage-esque merch. It would be sick. What up, Pips? You said that the Dominator is in an interesting position. Are you planning to make a video on it to elaborate? I don't know. The interesting part is that Dominator just doesn't have fast projectiles, so you end up missing shots that you would otherwise hit consistently. That's the point I was getting at there. Like, it doesn't really feel that great to shoot, so I'm leaning more towards using the Talon. Like, I would take Jower 5 with Talon, but if I could only have one, I'm taking Talon, is the point I was getting at there. Have you seen the bug with Adreno passive activating you before death and basically killing you early? Not necessarily. I've heard that you die faster wearing the armor. to have a camera that moves automatically always makes it feel like whoever... There's a heart icon blocking the chat. Oh my God, I hate it. Can I move it? No. Come on, man. What's going on here? What's going on here? Also, it's doing top messages only. I'm trying to look at the live chat. Fixed it. Feel like whoever it's filming starts dancing with it whenever they get close. I'm a pacer. I'm a pacer. I'm a swear. I'm just a person that moves while talking a lot. So, there's that. Move up above the heart? Yeah, you have to move the chat to move it above the heart. Like the heart will block any text in the right corner. Helldiver's cooking classes, basically. I mean, this meal right here has, what is it? I think it has close to 60 grams of protein. Something along those lines. Maybe it's a bit high. Because the kettle broth, the bone broth has 20 grams of protein divided by 5. The ground beef, I'll get a number. I'll get you guys an estimate. I could grab it. Hello? Yeah. Okay. So we have 3 pounds of ground beef, which is 23 times 4. That's going to be 92. So 92 grams of protein times 3. 276 grams of protein. Yeah. 276 grams of protein divided by 5. I ain't doing that shit. I can do multiplication. I ain't doing that division, but 276 grams of protein divided by 5. Then you take 20 grams divided by 5, so that's 4. And then the beans. The beans are 7 grams of protein times 3.5. That's going to be 24 something divided by 5. It's like close to 50 grams of protein. Or no, it is 60 grams of protein. 60 grams of protein per serving, ladies and gentlemen. And Helldivers need their protein so they can get mollywomped by a Wilbur's. They're trying to survive that. Are you a hobby chef? Nah, I just make my meals because it's cheaper. Plus, eating out feels kind of bad sometimes. Not like the mental aspect, it's just I genuinely feel bad sometimes. That's why I kind of stopped eating out at Whataburger as much. A, it's cheaper, but B, there's times that you could easily tell that the meat was frozen and then the person cooking it didn't do a good job actually cooking it. So instead I go to a place called Artie's. It's like a local mom and pop style burger place, and their food tastes way better. Hey, yo, check out Artie's meat. Tastes delicious. You heard it here, folks, first. All right, this ground beef is cooking a little too long on one side. Holy shh. Y'all gotta be more careful, bunch of klutz. The tripod's pretty wide, so I gotta be careful of that. Separate the meat. Sir, he's not gonna make it. Scalpel. This one cooked out a lot more than I thought. All right. And now we flip. I hate it. This side of the pan is just sadness. Hate's a strong word, but it describes exactly how I feel about. Oh no. Man, it wasn't hot enough. The pan wasn't hot enough. Tragedy. All that for nothing. The crust is sad. This one did okay. Actually, the edges cooked better than the center. What the heck happened? I think it wasn't hot enough. Next time, that's my bad. Whenever I am done with the first batch, I gotta make sure I crank the heat to 5. I had it at 4, and the middle didn't get hot enough, so it looks like gray meat, which is not wise. But, like I was saying, this piece did well. Like this is the kind of the color you're looking for. If you go back in the VOD, you can see that the first batch turned out pretty freaking solid. We back. I would eat these right now, but y'all would hear me crunch every chip, so I'm not gonna do that. Give me like a weird thing where it blocked the camera. Dude, Quest protein chips, no affiliation whatsoever. Should get sponsored though, I buy them all the time. God, they're so good. I keep stocked up these days. For a while, I'd maybe buy like a pack of 4 and just hold on to it for a bit, but I tend to have those every day. So I buy a 4-pack still. They sell them in more bulk than that to have a better discount. Well, discount in quotes because it's still expensive as all get out. Yo, Diving Stud, welcome to the dojo. Make sure I don't drop my phone here. Try not to. I got it. Namaste, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. The one important thing about macros that I've learned from dating a dietitian is that your body has a cap on how much protein your body can absorb. I hope you're in a loving relationship. Are you still with her, out of curiosity? You know that's not real, right? How do I phrase this? So, dietitian, that's cool and dandy and all. There's a thing that's been going on for like probably 20 years at this point, where dietitians and other folks, especially around the food health scene, they just don't know what they're talking about half the time. Genuinely. Because I've heard for the longest time that you can only absorb 20 grams of protein. But now it's 50. 50 grams is more reasonable, it makes more sense, so people are more inclined to believe that, especially when a dietitian says it. But you can absorb so much more than that. I'm not saying you should be eating 100 grams per meal, but your body is not dumb. Look at like cavemen, for example. They weren't going, damn, body can only absorb 20 grams at a time. Like those dudes were not carrying around a cooler bag to maintain the bison and mammoths they're slaughtering. Well, they're actually outskilling and decimating beyond belief because they're gamers. But no, that's just not a thing. There's studies that I haven't read, but people much smarter than me have debunked that. We're moving again. No shade to your dietitian girlfriend if she's still a girlfriend. I'm not calling her dumb or nothing. I'm just saying that she's probably been taught wrong. I ain't got a degree, but common sense says that, well, common sense and scientific studies that smart folks than me have broken down, they say that you can have more than 50 grams. One of them things. Appreciate you too. Thank you, man. I feel like Doe has the best, most honest takes on how that was too. I agree with them most of the time. Fair enough. I think it's good to have disagreements, but not for the sake of it. I feel like some folks, and not you by the way, but some folks, they dang near just want to be different for the sake of it. That was said about me for a while, but I think that I've been pretty consistent in like what I believe for the game and what I believe for games in general. The Steam's attacking my freaking microwave. I can see condensation building on the screen. Chat, I need to make a lot of money from sponsors because I gotta move. The more I look at this, the more it drives me mad. Read a book on how different blood types require different diets. That I can't speak on. I will say that changing your diet, which is, it's not so much like diets are kind of a trendy thing. It's like I'm on the paleo diet, I'm on this diet. Like that's a way to categorize the food you're eating. But changing what you eat can drastically improve your quality of life. Like that's a given. There's a schmeck on my screen. Go to sleep. I fixed it. Now the blood type thing seems super niche. I'm not sure why that'd be the case. I feel like if that was a thing, we'd definitely know by now. But who knows? Whenever I usually listen to Dodo, I get sad, but you gotta face the truth. I mean, that's a reason why I'm trying to go away from always posting the negativity videos, which they're not meant to be negative. It's just kind of difficult to say, hey guys, welcome to a new Helldivers 2 video where weapons kind of suck and enemies are changing in a way that you're not being told about that make it less fun to play. Let's have a great time discussing these interesting factors. Like, that's hard to really hype that up. So instead, I'm trying to focus on the things that I actually enjoy, so that way I can get other folks amped. I'm lucky, I'm so lucky the recent Warbond was actually fun to play. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made the videos I made. Variable, if you couldn't do the cool thing, if you didn't have ultimate mode, I would not have said it's a good gun. There's no way. Even if it just had volley, I wouldn't say it's a good gun. Like, it'd be neat. I'd like it more than assault rifles, but I'm lucky that they made that Warbond so fun to play. Like warp pack, variable, even the adrenal armor was kind of neat for a little bit. I don't use it right now. Also because folks are saying that you die faster when wearing the armor, so I'm not super keen on dying faster in that game. I die so fast as is. The book was old, so it could have been debunked, but I don't know. I would wager it probably is. These days, I wouldn't necessarily go with like books when it comes to nutritional health, because don't we still have the freaking food pyramid that just tells you a whole bunch of nonsense about proper dieting? And when it comes to the required daily nutrition, or the RDAs, forget the actual acronym, whatever dictates the average food intake of an individual, they are so horrible at dictating what you should actually be consuming. So that's outdated. Food pyramid is outdated. I would just go look at like scientific studies, and even then take it with a grain of salt, because sometimes they don't account for important factors. For instance, certain, like they won't, like if you're working on like a training thing, like looking at what you can do to improve lifting and whatnot, they sometimes don't test on trained athletes, like folks that are already individuals that train in the gym. And that can be scuffed because they're trying to figure out how certain things affect people. If you're just now getting into lifting, you'll experience newbie gains, which is like your muscle's ability to adapt to a lift and strengthen faster, essentially. Or to build muscle faster because your body's doing a new stimulus that they haven't experienced before, and you're starting off fresh. Whereas folks that have been training for a long time, takes them a lot longer to build kind of the same amount of muscle. In fact, they can't in some cases because they've been lifting for so long and they've already built so much muscle mass. It's complicated. A lot of it can honestly be boiled down to common sense if the topic is not too complicated. Like the 50 grams thing, for instance, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. How lean is terminated meat? Hunters are probably like jackrabbits, but worse. More bone than anything. Change it to 5 and I forgot. Do not eat food off the floor, it's gross. Disgusting even. You've seen me touch the meat before, it's fine. Alright, this time I definitely need to deglaze the pan. There's a lot more stuff in it than last. Need to figure out a better system for this. Like the first batch of meat turns out pretty well. The second batch, it's not questionable, but it's not the same standard. Now a big thing with crockpot meals, you don't want to cook the beef for too long. Especially in my case. Like there comes a point where the liquid, it just like changes a bit. And then that affects the texture. Which you may like, you may not, depends. So for my case, I tend to cook it for like about 10 hours, which you don't have to do. I cook on low and slow. I usually do other stuff throughout the day, so it's not a huge deal. You could cook it on high and see how it pans out, but I feel like the slower the better. And you can also just get like an instant pot and have it be done in like an hour, probably. Which I'm debating on trying. I think I have an instant pot, so I could experiment and see how it turns out. I'll move you. I think. Lock on. Whew. This has got to get dangerous here one day. I'm just going to forget I'm next to a freaking searing hot pan and have my ear go straight into it. All right. Ground beef chunks have been secured. Move y'all over here. Boom. It's so weird to hold the pan at this angle. All right, so the pan looks like that, but don't you worry. We still have some bone broth left over that I will use to deglaze it. And we didn't use any butter, any oil, nothing to make the ground beef, so that does not add any calories to this meal, which is a good thing or a bad thing, depends on your goals. So I wouldn't say bad, but it's, in most cases, a benefit. The height to weight chart is crap too. Yeah, there's a lot of things where you kind of just have to use context. Like the height to weight chart can be a decent tool, but if you're someone that has a lot of muscle mass or bone density, I lean more towards the muscle mass being a major factor, then it would change your height and weight in terms of like, let's say your, I wouldn't say obesity. It's not body fat percentage. There's some form of like categorizing the weight you should be at, and they use your height and weight to determine it. And I'm 5'10", 180 pounds. I was 5'10", 200 pounds, but I lost like 20. Oh yeah, body mass index, that one. No, you're right. A lot of folks that do complain about BMI they're not athletes. They're not folks that have the things that would essentially make that not a relevant measurement. I think there's way too many people in this world that are looking for an excuse for why their life is the way it is, and they're not trying to look into the actual matters, which is that their daily habits are contributing to their state of existence. Because it truly is insanely simple to lose weight. And there's virtually no factors that would make it impossible. There are factors that can make it difficult, but because things can make it more challenging than folks may like, which it sucks, like your circumstances aren't ideal all the time, they use those things that are hindrances as an excuse for why they can't do it. And that keeps them in a constant cycle of just never really improving. And it's all because they just essentially won't put in the effort to do it. And sometimes they do for a little bit, but they always give up. Like consistency is truly the key, especially when it comes to your health. Because after all, you'll be here for a while, hopefully, and you'll be here for longer and healthier if you actually make better choices. Some folks don't really care about that. They want to eat their crumble consistently, eat their fast food consistently, and then wonder why things aren't going the way they want to. Have full leaded soda, aka not diet, not zero sugar, which is just better for you. Unless you have like some kind of an allergy to artificial sweeteners and whatnot. But there's small things you could do daily that would get you to your goals faster than you think. Because if you tell someone it's going to take you a year, or like let's say 6 months to be a bit more reasonable, I guess. 6 months to see, a few months to see reasonable changes in your current existence. like your body weight, your physical abilities, what have you, they're going to be discouraged because 6 months seems like a lot of time. Meanwhile, that same person is like 20 years old, 30 years old, and they have another 40 years unless, you know, a car accident happens. But instead of acting now and getting things started, they kind of just give up. But yeah, those are good points on that though. A lot of folks will use excuses that apply to people that aren't them as a reason to not even try. It truly comes down to building a habit more than anything. Like people can say discipline, they can say motivation, but it's not even like those aren't necessarily required. What you need is a habit. Just do the thing and eventually it'll become a part of your routine. If you build good systems, that's where the longevity aspect comes into play. Odo must live up to his name, make pastries. I'm horrible at baking. The only reason why I even make ground beef and whatnot is because I need to eat. There is a pastry I could make. Ooh, I've made Rice Krispies before. At least I tried to. They turned out terrible. I attempted to add protein powder, which, by the way, you should not do. Unless you know a better recipe than what I use, because it did not turn out well in the slightest. Okay, I'm trying to get as much of this out, as much of this stuff out of the pan as possible. That was loud. It's fine. And I still need to eat breakfast. I had to make this first so that way I could get it started, which I should low-key start the crock pot itself. All right, so this, you can't see it, but I'm gonna go ahead and move it back to its corner. Do not look at my countertop, brother. It's dirty, I know. Ignore it. This is fine as well. That's my parchment paper for hash browns. I keep it around for a few days. Okay, this is on low. Go ahead and remove this. I do need to add seasoning to it, huh? I'm gonna go ahead and get this over here. Take off the bits I want to consume. Put in some water real quick in a bowl in the sink that I left there. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. You can see the angle there. Take the salt container that for some reason I put in a random like Tupperware thing. That was loud. Now I don't measure this. I'm an active person. Salt is not my enemy. I don't care that much. I do like 2, maybe 2.5 pinches. It is about 3 pounds of ground beef, a lot of tomatoes, and some bone broth, so I feel like it's fine. I'm gonna put some water in this pan too that I just cooked the meat in. That way it can sort of cut away at the remaining stuff I gotta clean out. Put the lid back on. Ow. And the last thing I add to this is gonna be some of this. Red ground pepper from Spice Classics. Got it on Amazon, bought in bulk. Because I accidentally bought some like, that's a ton. That's way too much. It's ruined. It's all ruined. And then stir it, get one of these. This will cook for, like I said earlier, around 10 hours. You could do it faster if you set it to high. Mine's on low. And if you have an Instant Pot, you can make this really quick. And I do want to try that. What it looks like right now will be different later. You'll have the ground beef pretty much take on the color of the redness, and the liquid will turn more, it'll be more viscous. Nothing crazy, but just a little bit more. And that is basically all she wrote for now. Just gonna put the lid on that thing and move on with my day. What happened? Amazing sounds right now. What'd you hear? I hope you can't hear. Am I lagging? What's the difference between goulash and chili with what you've added? That's a good question. Honestly, it may be more chili on, like, to be completely frank with you, because I'm going to be adding beans. So I got to Google goulash. I think goulash usually has vegetables. That doesn't have any. Right? Tomatoes are fruit, I think. Maybe it's chili. I don't know. I'll Google it. I'll find out. I'll fact check. Oh, the pot contents being mixed. It wasn't that bad. But that's, hey man, that's basically, that's the meal prep right there. That'll last me 5 days. Well, technically 4 extra days, but that'll be dinner tonight, and then I'll put the remaining contents into Tupperware containers, which if you get those, I recommend buying Pyrex. I've bought like random other brands. I don't like them at all. In fact, the salt container is the other brand of Tupperware container. Pyrex just does it better. And if I was y'all, I would buy like pretty much 5 of the exact same shape. So mine are just square. Does the job just fine. Holds a decent bit of food as well. I'll go ahead and clean my spatula. It would behoove you to clean as you go. Because nothing's more annoying than leaving your kitchen in disarray, which mine is still in that state. But at least my utensils are clean. And I'll be using the spatula in a moment to actually make some eggs, which I probably won't do on stream, because I want to just sit here and veg out, watch some TikTok or something. Ponder life choices, you know, the basics. But someone said they wanted to see me cook goulash again, so I cooked it. I don't know if they were here today, but at least I know I did the thing. And it's been a while since I made it too. I think next time I do it, I'll use the Instant Pot to mix things up a little bit, even though it's going to be kind of the same process. And if I could, I would love to change out my stove. Like I'm debating between getting a new stove or a graphics card. I'm not sure which one's more important. Is that a goddamn spider? No. Thing freaked me out a little bit. Goulash has vegetables and meat. Yeah, I'm making chili. I'll add carrots next time. In my defense, I used to always add bell peppers, like I said previously. But I need to find a better vegetable that meshes well, or meshes better with the goulash. So it's chili. We don't still call it goulash though, because it sounds way cooler than chili. Chili sounds podunk. We're making that high class. Maybe we call it high class chili. You can use the graphics card to cook. With the way that mine's moving, you probably could. It's been struggling. Peas are goated. I mean, so what I do is I have frozen carrots and peas in like a little bag. Buying frozen vegetables is godlike, by the way. I could actually add those to this and see how it turns out. I might do that. I'm not sure if I should add them now or wait later though. Just max out the 50/90 or get a bunch of 40/80s. 480s. Chili is high fiber, usually some meat. It's always in my recipes, but lots of fiber. Equals fast trip to the gut. I think it depends on your acclimation to fiber. Because I eat like probably, it's not super consistent, but I can have a lot of fiber in one sitting and it's usually pretty fine. If you're not used to it though, then yeah. If you're not consistent, then yeah. But increasing your fiber intake is massive. I've been hearing folks talk about just eating like keto bread that tends to have 9 grams of fiber per slice, and they just do 2 of those, and they pretty much get close to their RDI, or close to their recommended daily intake. Yes, RDI. They get close to their recommended intake off of just that stuff. Some folks don't really even do vegetables. And then they also take a multivitamin and they mitigate that too. I'm kind of worried about multivitamins. I might hop back on one, I'll see. I ended up buying these instead though. Optimized Minerals, just cause. And they had like a thing where I got like the minerals are in that, the powder, and then they have like a vitamin syringe deal. If it changes my life, I'll give them a thumbs up. I might leave a nice review, a little happy emoji as a comment or something. TikTok reaction segment. I'm not built to react like that. I don't know. Like, my element is either playing a game I really enjoy, doing different stuff, or it's like playing with people and doing fun stuff. Like, it takes a lot of effort to sort of muster the facade, in a sense, for like React content. Like, oh my God, no way. Hey, there's just no universe in which folks are always that hyped to watch that kind of stuff. Like, they're definitely putting on some form of a thing. Because when regular people watch content, you know, it's like just basic stuff. Does the Minerals have an ultimate firing mode? Not, yeah, kinda. Fiber does. Blood sugar, energy, gut health, focus, curb cravings, immunity, reduce inflammation, hormones. I'm getting a new bag of this. I think this is actually toast. I could have maybe muscled out an extra scoop. Oh well. Auf Wiedersehen, Miss Water. Reaction videos are crazy if you ain't built for it. Think about how many times you visually react when you watch by yourself. Reaction videos are crazy if you ain't built for it. The thing is, I don't think it's a built for it. I think it's a build up to do it type thing. Like, just overhype on everything. That's React content. Just get overhyped for everything. And if nothing else, have your face show the expression. It's all just an act, in a sense. Hello, what up, gang? I sit silently with a neutral expression watching stuff alone. Me too, pretty much. Like, there's sometimes you see something and it makes you go, no, like you talk, at least I talk to myself, and like, no freaking way, stuff in that manner. But that's so far and few in between. It depends on the actual content. Omega-3s. I have omega-3s and I have a vitamin D supplement that I'm afraid to take because last time I think I took too much. I know I took too much. I had vitamin D toxicity. You need Kai speed level energy. That guy, he's perfected his acts. I think, at least. But yeah, he's a pretty solid content creator. Very solid indeed. But that's what I'm talking about though. You can sort of see how even when he has no energy, he'll like up his voice in a sense. It's like, that is awesome. You can just tell it's like not necessarily felt, but again, that's content creation to some extent. Like there's a bit of hype that has to be involved based on what you're doing. Reaction videos, but they're completely silent except they lift their upper lip into a smile sometimes. Someone's doing it, and someone's probably making a killing doing it. I mean, on TikTok, you'll see people react, and they don't even say anything. They're just watching a video and making like facial expressions every now and again. And they get so many views because folks don't care about them. They're just watching the thing that they're reacting to. 'Tis wild. I don't really watch React content either. Half the time, if I see someone reacting, I just skip it because, I don't know. It depends on the person. Like that helps too. Like notoriety will boost the ability to retain people that watch you to react to stuff. To build an audience, that audience may want to watch you watch other stuff. It's how it goes. Anyway, folks, I gotta make breakfast. I'm starving. Thanks for watching the Goulash cooking stream. It's a pretty fun time. Improvements will be made eventually. Can't say when, but eventually. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a good day. Remain focused. I always forget. There's a button I gotta press. I can't open it. We're stuck here forever. Wait.